Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. So, I hope that you guys can hop on and let me know how I sound. Hello, Rhonda. Alright, so Rhonda, do I sound good? Better than last week? Last couple weeks? I did a whole bunch of tweaking, so hopefully the answer is yes. Let me turn that sound off. Okay. The only fan that is on right now is for my computer, and there's no way to turn that off. Short of turning off the computer, which means no video because my camera is attached to my computer and it's not my phone. This is my phone. I don't use my phone for my videos, so that literally is the only fan that's on in the house. So, hopefully you can put up with that fan because otherwise I don't know what to tell you. I am trying to find some filters and whatnot to help remove any of the background noise. I'm going to turn off that sound. Gosh, all the sounds right now. Everything's just going to go ding, 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 ding. All right. Let me turn that. Okay. I think we're ready to start. So, if I miss anything, please holler at me, let me know. Even if it's in the comments, if you're watching replay. I try not to miss things, but you know, life is life and things will get missed. So, I don't do it intentionally. Yeah. So, it is what it is. All right, let's make sure. All right, so I decided this week we are going to do kind of three that same but different. I don't remember what I called it last time, but we are going to use the Cozy Up Card Making Workshop stamp and thin cuts today. So we're going to start with making this card number 1 and have most everything pre-cut for you. So if you're not familiar with the card making workshops, what this is, it is Close to My Heart's card making workshop. So you receive a stamp that you can only get within the workshop, as well as coordinating thin cuts, and instructions, as well as paper. I've cut the paper up, otherwise I would show you. So I can't do that. It does have a list of the materials that you need to make the entire project as shown in the pictures. Something is flickering. Alright, that's going off. My cat knocked it over the other day and it's flickering and that's driving me bonkers. So actually it looks like it might be a better lighting to not have it on. So my apologies for the interruption. Rhonda says she still has this kit in the bag. I did too, until a little bit earlier today. And not that much longer. And I apologize, my cat is going to complain because it is time for him to be fed, and I didn't do that before the video. So when Evan gets ready to leave, I will ask him to take care of that. But I digress. So it comes with printed instructions. It shows you the projects. This particular set, you are making 16 cards, 4 cards of each design, and there are 4 designs. You have 3 A2 cards, which is what we usually make here in the videos, and 1 slimline card design. So, yeah, that's, oh goodness. And it, of course, is warm today, and so I do have my trusty water right here off screen. So you probably hear me take drinks, and I apologize for that. Alright, so the sentiments in this one, autumn and greetings are 2 separate stamps. You have happy birthday, thanks, and so much, as well as the leaf and leaf cluster. There is not a stamp for this circle thing. This is just the die. So if it's in this area, if it's black, it is a stamp. If it is blue-green glacier, it is the thin cut. So the instructions show you how to cut everything. The thing to remember when you are looking at these is the first number in all of Close to My Heart's designs is horizontal. I almost showed you one thing instead of the other. So for example, this is 4 by 3, so you want to have your paper in your trimmer, and you cut at 4, and then you will rotate and cut at 3. So the first one is a cross, so it'll be 4 inches, and then 3 3/4 inches, and then 3 3/4 inches. And actually, if you wanted to save some paper, you can get these off of 3.5 by 3.5. I just did it. So, hello, Pauline. Good morning. So we are going to go ahead and start with this card here. And let me grab my stuff for it. And I do have the sample done. However, I am realizing in looking at this, I did not stamp the envelope, so I need to do that. I don't have my arrow. So it has the wood grain paper board embellishments. And we need the little one. Oh goodness. So we'll grab 2 little ones. And throw them up in there. All right. It actually says we're supposed to ink that with paprika. So let's start with that. Use our sheet from last week. We'll ink these up, and then we'll do the rest of that later. The reason I'm doing it this way is because we want the ink to have some time to dry, because we want to put, according to the instructions, we want to put some of the white gel pen on here. And I know I'm doing this a little bit out of order, and I apologize. Alright, wood arrows. So let's not lose those. So now these instructions do show you how to make the card. It gives you tips on how to put everything together. I think I would do it in a different order, and I am actually going to do it in a different order than how it's listed. Obviously, I just did the arrows way out of order, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I am notorious for looking at the pictures and not necessarily reading the words unless I mess up something or I'm super confused, which is quite alright. It's the pictures You can tell what it is that you need to do from just looking at the pictures without looking at the words 99% of the time. So, this card turned out super cute. Oh yeah, what I was saying is they do fabulous instructions. The cards are only decorated on the outside. They do not give you instructions to do anything for the inside or on the card envelope. And so, you know me, and I like to do stuff on the inside all the time as well. And I forgot to stamp the envelope, so we will do that as well. So, it's actually a really simple card to put together. It looks like it's harder than it is, and I probably made it even harder than it needed to be, because that's just kind of the way I do things, unfortunately, for myself. I try to make it easier for you guys, but I make it harder for me. So, let's get started, shall we? So when I cut the pieces for this, and I have cut all the pieces except for the white daisy. I have white daisy for this card, but I was running out of time, to be quite frank, and so I still have the white daisy to cut for the rest of it. But this is how I sort my cutting. So let's go back to the cutting for just a moment so you can see what I'm talking about. And like I said at the beginning, we're doing one card from this, and the other two cards for tonight's class are not this. So we'll use this one for example. So we have 5 1/4 by 4, and we have 3 of those, and then we have 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. And you see 1A and 2B. So this means this is project 1, piece A, and this is project 2, piece B. And so I know there's 4 cards, so I will take 4 envelopes and I will label them in the corner, which you should be able to see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're just numbered in pencil so that if I want, I can erase them. If you take classes from me, your envelopes will also be labeled at the top in a pencil 99% of the time. There are occasions where I will use a small post-it note. It just kind of depends, but most of the time it is in pencil. So it should be light enough that you should be able to just take an eraser and erase it and be done with it, or even just not worry about it, because if you're sealing it, the likelihood that the person is gonna see that is pretty small. But again, that is up to you. So when I cut the pieces, I will put them in the corresponding numbered envelope. So pieces for card 1 will go in envelope 1. Pieces for card 2 or project 2 in case of layouts will go into envelope 2. And when I'm cutting layouts, I do actually use 5 by 7 envelopes most of the time to keep my pieces in. Obviously they stick up out of the top because most of the time they're pieces that are 12 inches long by some other random number, 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 5 inches, etc. And I'll use envelopes for that as well. They just work really, really well. So that's what I'll do. So that's what you see here. And yes, this is not the correct envelope for card number 4, right? Because that is a slimline card. But to make it easier to process things as I'm cutting, I want everything to be the same container. And so that's how I'll do that. So let's take out the pieces that we need for card number 1. All right, so I did pre-cut our piece here. We have this piece and this piece. Right, and it goes together super simply, super easy. And then this piece will go on the inside, and my white daisy other pieces are here. Okay, so that is all of our pieces for one card. So I have 2 more cards in here ready to go. All right, card base and envelope and inside piece. And yeah, let's go ahead and move this out of the way because we have our sample card, so we do not need the instruction booklet. So let's get our stamping done first so that it can do some drying before we do anything else. Now, our ink colors for this card: paprika, rosemary, honey butter, toffee, and mocha. No black ink on this card at all. Done. We do also have sponges. So we do Kerry sponges, and this is actually a variety of sponge pieces. They are not all cut from one sponge, but you can see that is approximately half a sponge, right? So we'll be using those. And here are the thin cuts for that set. While I did do the circle, we are going to use a couple of the other ones, but we need to do the coloring first after the stamping before we cut it out. Okay, I am going to use the back side of my Versamat as my stamping spot. Now that I have put everything in my way. Okay. So we need to stamp on here and all right, guys, where did it go? Anybody see it? My white daisy piece? About that long? Not this one. I do need that one. Ah, there it is. Found it. Okay. Let's move this stuff over here for a moment. After we get this stamping done, I'm going to put some paper up for opinions from you guys, so you can put it in the chat and be thinking about it while we do the first two cards. Rhonda says she does her cutting and envelopes to hold the same way I did, the same way I showed. It's such a handy way to do it. All right, so we are stamping in mocha. I honestly have no idea how loud that stamp inking is, so I apologize in advance if it's super loud. Look how pretty that is. Focus. I love it. All right, sorry. All right, also in the mocha, we're doing 2 of these leaves. Okay. And this is 1 by 3, 3/4 by 3. Yep, 1 by 3. All right, so we are going to stamp the word greetings at the bottom. All right. Gotta take off the glasses. And we are currently done with our mocha ink. Alright, and then we're going to do the word autumn and rosemary, although it would be really fun. I think I'm going to do it in paprika this time. Will you please feed them?
Where are the keys?
Black bag. Alright, the word autumn. This time we're doing it in paprika, but the instructions do say rosemary. But I mean, honestly, paprika is far more autumn than rosemary is. Right? Okay, so I guess let's do our envelopes. Before we forget again. So I fibbed. Let's bring back our mocha because I forgot about the envelopes. So pretty. Rhonda, you lost your mocha ink pad. That's so sad. It'll show up. Eventually. Hopefully. Okay. So we are done. We're done with our stamping. Now we are going to take our large honey butter and toffee, right, because we're letting those dry a little bit. So our large honey butter and our toffee, and we're going to take our brown sponge and we're just going to ink up the edges very softly. Not doing it over your ink pad, great plan, so that when your sponge flakes off, it doesn't flake off in your ink pad. I also actually want to grab my inside white daisy piece. Right, that one is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to do the same thing. And we're done with our toffee ink. Alright, so we're going to let that dry just a little bit more. So let's move this off to the side. And let's do a little bit of gluing and cutting and such. So bring in some pieces. And some glue. So these two pieces are what I added for the inside. So we have 1/2 inch by slightly over 4 inches because it was ever so slightly larger and I just did not cut it down. Oh my goodness, I just ran out of tape. Oh, this one was the one that was already empty. That I haven't refilled yet. That I have refills for. That I just haven't done yet. Alright, I believe that piece was like 4 1/4. And so it's just easier to put it on and trim off that tiny little bit of extra than it is to put it in the trimmer and trim off that piece. Every time I do distressing on my cards or layouts or whatever, and if my husband is near, he tells me I sound like a little chipmunk. Which, I mean, kind of does. A little chipmunk chewing on a nut or some carrots or something. Alright, piece 1 down. Alright, these go together super simply. They're easy to figure out. Like if you have a picture and you have the pieces, it's super easy. I think, anyway. These pieces, not giving them, excuse me, not giving the measurements to you. However, they are on the printed workshop, if you get that. They are also available online to download, even if you don't purchase that workshop. So if you go to my store and pull up the Cozy Up card making workshop, then you will see that there is a download PDF link on that page. And so if you download it, that paper that I had out earlier is what you will get. Alright, so just angle cuts and dovetail cuts, right? Super simple. And the easiest way to do this is I put a little bit of glue on the back. Now, these yellow pieces are too long in my thing because, again, they were cut at a certain point and I just decided that it was easier to just not cut them again, that I could trim off when I was putting together the workshop. Okay. So, we have these things put together. So these are our pieces so far. Sorry, don't mean to be moving them out of view. Move things kind of out of the way here. So let's finish this. All right, so we have this all stamped, and we are going to start with the lightest color first because that's just the smartest way to go about things. And we are going to make this leaf and these long, skinny, pointy leaves yellow. Well, honey butter. And you can rub, you can twist, you can dot, you can anything, right? And that's it. That's all we're doing. Obviously, if you were putting the workshop together, you would do all of the inking at the same time. So you would do that 3 more times. Right? Now let's do the rosemary. The green sponge here. And I just tap off a little bit. Right, and then we want to do these guys over here. Okay. And then last but not least, paprika. Hold on, I missed a color. I have a leaf that doesn't have colors. I think it's supposed to be yellow as well. Yeah, it's supposed to be yellow as well. So, before we do the paprika, let's come back with our honey butter. Alright, now let's do our paprika. Voila. Now if you wanted, you could add other colors into this as well, or you could do some blending to have more colors. Up to you. I do believe that this is going to be a no-no here soon, if not already, but I'm going to use my little sidekick. And I'll have 2 guys. And a tiny bit of washi to hold everything in place. Just spin this through. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so fun. Now on these guys, You don't have to worry about the stem so much because it's going to be hidden underneath the cluster. So if the stem part's not perfect, that's quite all right. Now it is time to finish our assembly. So, the easiest way to do this is I'm going to take my tape runner and put some glue along the back side. Kind of see that. I know it's not going to focus, but hopefully you can see kind of color-wise. And then if you want, you can hold it kind of in the same way. But then I'm just going to kind of pick up the other pieces. Like that. So our little cluster is one group now. We add a little bit more, just one little dash on each one. And then we're going to put this on the side of our circle. Just kind of wherever you like. We're going to flip that over. We're going to flip over our greeting as well. And then, as you know, we need some foam tape. Right? It would not be a Michelle card without some foam tape. Some of these foam pieces today just don't want to keep their backings on them, which I'm not going to argue terribly with that, right? That would be silly. And then we're going to put a couple. Actually, let's hold off on that for just a second. Let's set these down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the back side underneath the cluster, but the right side is going to be on top of the circle. But we are going to pop it up just a bit so we have opposing popped items. And we want to make sure that we like where everything is sitting. Right, so we already know that our yellow is a little bit too long. So let's go ahead and trim that off. Might as well trim our toffee just to make things easy. And then you can decide if you want it a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. So kind of right there looks good. So let's eyeball that. It's going to take that off. Let's peel off our backings so that they can grab a hold of our little sentiment cluster. Okay. Let's line that up again. Okay. And then, because when we put our foam on the back, we want to make sure that we're not putting it on top of our little green wreath piece. And then I'm just going to run one line across that back end. Right, and we'll bring this in. And we'll just kind of line this up. Like so. So I like that the wreath is kind of popped up without us having to futz with anything on the wreath itself. Circle, whatever you want to call it. So I like that. And then we have some dimension here under the cluster, but then there's also dimension under the ends of our banner pieces over here. All right, let's not forget our arrows and grab our white gel pen. Our number 10. And it says to put some dots. So you can do dots, you can do dashes. I think I'll do dots on one. We probably should have done this a smidge ago so that it could dry. The gel could dry. Alright, well, now that we have wet gel on our arrows, let's move those off to the side and we will add those on at the very end. Because I don't want to smear it. But other than that, our cards are done. Right? Super, super, super cute. Super fun. Easy to do. Right? Beyond easy to do. Hardest thing is the die cutting. Maybe the inking, the sponge inking on the decision making part of it, not the actual doing part. All right, I was going to show you paper a while ago. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. All right, so here is my thinking. I have these burlap-like flowers. And I have this melon glitter circle. Okay. And the flower shop papers. So I think so many of these have benefits. All right, so we have this. It doesn't quite blend in, but doesn't really stand out. We have the yellow. It stands out, doesn't blend in. Okay, we have Where did all my pieces go? There we go. We have the pink. Again, doesn't really stand out, but it doesn't blend in either. We have this blue. I don't think the burlap flowers go very well with this blue. Well, not with the blue, but with that pattern. We have that, which makes it kind of stand out as well. You could go with a chevron yellow. This is a tiny piece, but we could go with a pink stripe. I have a bigger piece. All right, those are the paper options. I take it back. We also have the dark blue. Now that blue does work. I know, it's the same blue. Like I said earlier, it's not the blue that doesn't match, it's the flower pattern on the other paper. So, those are what I'm thinking. So, blue, pink stripe, yellow chevron, blue mums, nope, we're just gonna take that one. Pink flower garden, yellow flowers, or pink and yellow flowers. Okay, so those of you that are here watching live, and do it if you're watching the replay too. Put your comments in there too, and see if you guess right. Which, when I get the thumbnail up, you'll already see it, so you'll know. But anyway, let me know what you think. What do you think we should do? All right. In the meantime, let's go to our next card. This one is super simple, and it uses that the circle thin cut, and this time we have it with Capri glitter paper. Oh my gosh. So, what do you think it is? I will tell you, we are using Capri ink and Glacier ink. We're going to use the Thanks So Much stamps. We are going to use another stamp set too, but I don't want to show that just yet. I want to give you guys the chance to guess what you think the card is going to look like, because I don't think that you will. Anyway, all right, I have to get on with the video, so let's show you the other stamp that we're going to use. Are two of the splatter stamps. From the Background Elements. This is in the current core book. That does actually retire at the end of the month. So anything at this point going forward is a while supplies last. So, just saying. I have used this in a ton of cards and stuff, and some things I think have been super surprising, not used how you would expect them to be used, but they've been super fun. All right, let's show you the card because it's super fun. here we have our envelope. That is the front. And the back, that is that splatter stamp. And here is our card. Thanks so much. You can see those splatters. And in the corner, I really like how this turned out. It was super fun. I was inspired by a card that I saw on Pinterest. It has a splatter on the inside as well. And you could do any color combination you want. But the thanks so much is from that Cozy Up Stamp and Thin Cuts. Right? Thanks so much. Trying to show you guys reasons why you want to get this, because the stuff is so cute that you can do with it. It's crazy. It's silly that I have not played with it yet. Everything in this book, everything that I'm using today, okay, not everything, a lot of the things I'm using today is retiring at the end of the month. That's next week. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is next week. Crazy. The Capri glitter paper is retiring at the end of the month. The stamp sets are also retiring at the end of the month. White Daisy is not, of course. And I do believe we still have both of these colors. Oh my gosh, now I'm questioning. Let me take a quick peek. Capri and Glacier, yes. I thought so. All right, let's get some stamping. So this card is, like I said, super simple. You don't need a ton of stuff for it. Like if you wanted to make a boatload of these cards, you could, because you use 3.5 by 3.5. Excuse me, for the circle, which you will have a piece left over from the center, so you could use this for other things. And then these pieces are obviously too long, but these would be, I don't know how big this would be. Basically, I cut this at 3/4 and realized that I cut it wrong, and then I just cut that 3/4 in half. And this was already this length. This was what was left over after I cut the two pieces there. So, and then we have our card base and our envelope and two pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4 White Daisy, and one piece that is 1 1/4 by 4. And then we're actually going to use some micro glue dots as well. So, stamping. We do need to do some stamping. So let's move this for a second so that we can see fairly easily. And if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do the full 4 inches across, you could make this be a banner cut on this side, or even on that side if you wanted to, but I like how it goes underneath. So if you did a banner cut on this side, it wouldn't have to go quite all the way over. But we're not going to do that today. I am changing many things, but I'm not going to change that. And if I forget, remind me to go back and put the arrows on, and then we can decide which one we liked better, the rosemary or the paprika. Alright, that piece is done. We'll bring our scratch paper back in because we do need to stamp off the sides and edges of things. So we will do our capri first. Right, that was simple. Do the inside. Also simple. And then the outside. And this one, basically you are just trying to go from corner to corner. Right, it does not matter if they meet in the middle or not, because that's going to be covered up. And I just want to kind of fill in just a little bit. Okay, so that is all of that stamping. So that is all of the capri. And then we're just going to add a few larger splatters with the glacier. And this is a stamp that I have cut apart because I wanted some of the larger splatter than the big stamp we used, but smaller than these giant pieces. Those giant splatters. Just like that. And as you saw, it just goes right back together. Just like that. So you can stamp again and you would never know that it was on the stamped image. You would never know that it had been cut. Alright, make sure you type your paper choices in the chat because we're almost done with this card. Alright, we are going to take our glitter pieces and we're going to take some washi, and I just have this tape dispenser. It's just a regular tape dispenser, and let me tell you, this thing has come in so handy, having the washi tape and the tape dispenser. Now I am using washi to attach the glitter paper to our sentiment because regular glue does not work very well on the glitter itself. And here you can make this border as large or small as you would like. And so our washi holds it to our sentiment. Right, super simple. Just give it a little bit of a burnish. And then we're going to add our adhesive. And I'm doing it on all 3 pieces just to make sure that it's going to stick really well. And then I'm going to take some micro glue dots and add it on some of the spots. I sure didn't aim that one very well, did I? And I'm just putting them in the spots where the lines, right, because it's a swirled group of lines, where they kind of overlap. So there's a larger larger surface area. All right. I was hubby calling, so hopefully it's not something urgent. If he calls back, I will have to take his call. All right, and then you're just this is the trickiest part, is laying them down so that they don't stick together where you don't want them to. All right, so we're going to attach the left side, and I'm going to go ahead and slip our circle underneath, kind of lay that where we want that to be, and then just flatten everything. Then we're going to flip it over and trim. Ooh, right into the little trash can. I didn't think I could get that twice in a row. That was kind of cool though. Alright, so that is our card front. We need some foam tape. It's kind of funny how the lighting is working. For me looking down at my paper, these shadows are really dark shadows. But on screen, like, the shadows are almost nothing for you guys. Which is awesome. It's just weird. I see them and I get worried, and then I look up and it's not really anything for you guys. Alright, give everything a good press. I was going to say, except for the one that the stuff has come off of already. I wonder if it's because of the heat that these are not wanting to stay on, which I get. I forgot to look before I came inside, but it was supposed to be 95 today. And let me tell you, it feels like it's 95 today. All right. Card base, card front. Attach. And inside. And voila. Card number 2. All right, so before I forget, let's real quick add these arrows on. All right. There we go. So we have rosemary and paprika. All right, last card. So I wasn't sure if I wanted little mocha centers or melon glitter paper centers. I have some leaves here. So these are cut from the flower dies. So we're just going to give a little bit more dimension to our burlap flowers. And I'll just do a flower. I won't do both cards as flowers. Although the video has gone actually fairly quick for what it normally does. guess it's good that he thinks it sounds like a chipmunk and not an itchy dog. Right? Alright, so let's... I am going to press my thumbnail down just so the inside half of the petal just right in the center to create a line kind of here where I'm drawing with my stylus. I guess it's not a stylus, it's a piercing tool. Right, just like this. Okay, I'm going to do that with both flowers. So I did cut the same flower, 2 for each card. And this burlap paper is in the current mix-in. It also, like everything else, expires at the end of this month. I am going to then grab a bone folder and just curl the end tips of these flowers. And then also kind of create a square in the center of the flower. And then when we glue them together, we are going to offset them. And we are going to use foam tape. Just one square should be perfect. Voila. Okay. So our flower is going to go like this on our ring. And I still can't quite design. If I do kind of a both situation here. I glue both of those down. And these centers are cut from the flowers as well. I actually like that one. Okay, so let's grab our mini glue dots again. Sorry, micro glue dots, not mini glue dots. There's actually a really big size difference between the mini and the micros. I'm so glad I have some of these tweezers. So these ones are the minis and these ones are the micros. Just to give you a size comparison, if it will show. There we go. So the micro is about half the size of the mini. And they're a slight bit more flat as well. Not that that usually matters very much, but sometimes it does. Miranda says her fingernails are too long to do that. Mine have issues. Okay. It is now decision time. I do kind of like that. Right, I kind of like all of them, otherwise I wouldn't have shown you guys. I think no on that. I think not anymore. I do like the pink. I think the blue is too dark. So, we have yellow chevron. Yellow flowers or pink stripe. You know what? Let's go with yellow flowers. So let's do 4 inches by 4 inches. can bring that little pop of blue in at the bottom. I like that. Alright, let's see, this piece is 2.5, so let's do 1.25. Perfect. Alright, and then use my cheater method with the washi tape. I need some micro glue dots again for the back side like we did on the last one. You could use a liquid glue if you wanted. But I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't want to mess with it. I mean, it is actually a little bit cheaper than using glue dots. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of center this circle in our 4x4 square. Yeah. I was trying to stay away from the liquid glue. That's just not gonna happen. Alright, I'm going to put this just inside that circle. So if this were this circle here, I'm gluing it here. Okay, so it's not sitting on top of the glitter, but it kind of looks like it is. And then we need our happy birthday sentiment. Let's see here. That is much too large. This is going to be much too small. How about this? Perfect. I do love having some scraps. Alright. Bring my Versamat back in. Let's see. I do think we need to go with sapphire because honey butter is not going to be strong enough for our sentiment. Beautiful. Rhonda says yellow paper with the white flowers. We did, and that we should use the pink stripes on the second card instead of the yellow with the white flowers, or instead of the blue. All right, so I intentionally did this a little far back so that we could A, tuck this under our flower, and B, have it kind of overhang. That's kind of been the theory of the night, is have things overhang. And let's see if we can trim this straight. Straight enough. So let's pop it like we did on the other banners. And then a little bit of glue on the inside. Since we're tucking, I'm just going to go ahead and use some liquid glue so that it can move underneath. Now Rhonda says instead of the yellow, the pink stripe would look really good with the blue band. We can most definitely do that. Okay, so we need to cut a bit of this yellow stripe. Not yellow stripe. A yellow flower bit for the inside. This is another card that went together super quick. And I mean, the hardest part is choosing the paper. Super cute. Okay, so if you want to stick around, you can. I'm going to make the other one of this card. But if you wanted to be done, I understand. And let's look at the cards that we made tonight. Move things out of the way here. So we have card number 3. We don't have anything for the envelope just yet. But I'm sure we could figure out something. Or we could just have a plain white envelope. That's okay too. So we have card number 3. We have card number 2. Oh yeah, let's adjust these a little bit. And then card number 1, where the workshop calls for rosemary. And then I went with paprika. So you'll have to let me know, which do you like better, the rosemary or the paprika? I think the paprika pops a little bit better and just kind of ties everything in a little bit better. And it kind of looks like my camera's a little tilted, so I apologize. So yeah, those are the cards that we did today. So essentially the video is done, so you're welcome to go if you're done. But if you want to stay for just a couple more minutes, we're going to go ahead and finish this second card. And we're going to do that pink stripe like Rhonda suggested. So let's move these things out of the way. All right. So I'm going to keep that one. Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting again. So that has a few moments to dry. Beautiful. Oh, we didn't put any flowers on that card. Or not flowers, leaves. All right, we can do that. All right. I think it would be kind of fun to do like a whole set of like this card with just different paper combos, which, oh, excuse me, would be really easy to do. You could just cut a whole bunch of 4 by 5 1/4 pieces, and then you could cut multiple pieces at the same time, where you cut off 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. So that's where you get that bottom piece. And then you could mix and match the papers. So many combinations. All right. Fold, fold. See, Rhonda, you could probably do this way like this, and just, because I'm just using the corners. I mean, I know I have essentially no nails, but in theory, you should be able to do that too. And if you wanted, you could have a little bit more detail on these cards. You could cut out the top piece, the detail piece for this one. Up to you. All right, paper. Four inches by 4 inches. And then we have the blue. That is very pretty. I'm going to do something different for the inside of this one. The inside of the flower for this one. I don't have a piece of this blue that would work. Yes, I do. I fibbed. Unintentionally. Okay. I love that it goes together so quickly. Apparently I cut that a little bit longer than I thought I did. Paprika does pop better. I agree. I agree. I ran out. Good news is I have some Tombow refill. Okay, so if you have not done a refill before, this is simple. So this is, you saw me just take it out of the package. It looks like this. If you stick your fingers down there, that's sticky. It will stick to your fingers. So don't do that. So there's a little press piece here, and then it opens. Right? Simple. You lift that piece out, put it in the garbage, you lift that piece in. And you close, and it's ready to go. It's really that simple. I do love it when it is simple. easy to use, perfect for beginners or advanced crafters, because all paper crafters need glue. One little foam dot. Alright. Since I couldn't avoid it, let's go ahead and use this. I still am only going to put dots where those lines overlap. And just kind of center. Like I said, it's warm here, so my fingertips are getting a tad bit sticky, unfortunately. Okay, let that dry for a few moments, and let's grab our scissors again. Not straight. That's probably not either, but it's much closer. Okay. Nearly there. Alright. Now for the center, I told you I was going to do something different for this one. We're going different, so might as well keep going different, right? We are going to grab some seed beads. I mean, honestly, we're probably going to go with the white. No. Oh, we could do pink. No. 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 So this kind of ties in here. I think white it is. And so what I'm going to do is probably regret this, but something to dump on. I'm going to take some glue My theory is let it sit for a few seconds, let it get a little bit more tacky. While it's doing that, let's pull out a couple leaves. Okay, that's more than a couple. Alright, so that should be a little bit tacky enough. Okay, I already know that that is too many. Right, so I'm just going to press those in there, and I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes while I am working on the leaves. And so I think adding a little 2 set of leaves will be perfect. So let's grab those glue dots again. And let's make 2 because we have 2 cards, right? And we'll add 2 glue dots to the back of each of these sets, each of these pairs of leaves, just to make sure there's enough stick power there. Because I got chubby fingers, we're going to use the tweezers to be able to place them right where we want them. So much better. Love it. All right. Put these back. It should be dry enough to dump these off. Alright. Oh, stop. These little guys like to go everywhere. All right. So we have the yellow flowers, the yellow with flowers, and then we have the pink and white stripes. So, same design, slightly different papers, and definitely different centers. Let's see. I do wish it would focus. There. Anyway, so that is that card all finished with both pieces. How about that? I love how each of these cards turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for staying for the whole video. If you did, thanks for watching live or replay. I appreciate the time that you spend watching my videos. I really do. I hope that they bring you happiness and inspiration. And if or when you make cards inspired by this, I would love for you to share with me. Send me a picture, tag me in a post, anything like that. I would greatly appreciate it. So, again, terrible at introducing myself at the beginning of the video. My name is Michelle. I am with Crafters Northwest. The supplies are close to my heart supplies. And if you have any questions or would like to purchase anything that you've seen tonight, please let me know. I would be happy to help you with that. So thank you again so much for your time, and I will see you guys next week with 3 more free cards. Thanks, guys. Bye.